They're just looking for famous faces who could draw attention to Jeff Bezos' weird little rocket. His first little rocket looks exactly like a penis. Exactly. The guy's working something out. I think he's like working out his sexual fantasies on us.
6 celebrity women, including Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez, who is the plastic fiance of Jeff Bezos, took a Blue Origin rocket into space on a trip that lasted from takeoff to touchdown less than 12 minutes in total.
Well, this voyage lasted 11 minutes.
And real astronauts are extremely intelligent scientists who've been tested to the limits of their physical and mental fitness. But this was really not women in space. It was stupid people in space. This was the lowest IQ space crew that has ever been launched from Earth.
I have no doubt that it was a cool experience. It was not historic or significant in any way, but it was still, I'm sure, cool. More than cool, it must have been profound and quite moving. It's a shame then that it was wasted on a woman with the wisdom and intellectual depth of a newborn poodle.
Picture this. Hollywood declares a glitter-soaked first-ever all-female space mission, and the press gasps louder than a red carpet crowd spotting a wardrobe malfunction, yet the voyage lasts barely 11 minutes. Which is less time than Katy Perry usually spends deciding which metaphor to post on Instagram, but never mind, the empowerment train has left the station and is rocketing skyward in a giant chrome Freudian joke, courtesy of Jeff Bezos, who is clearly working through something.
Katy Perry was quoted as saying, "We're putting the ass in astronauts." Okay, all right. You go, girl. This is so...
This is why she needs empowering, because she keeps revealing her stupidity like that, and we have to boost her back up.
How much do we not want this rocket to return to Earth?
On board, pop diva Perry and broadcast royalty, Gayle King clutch designer flight suits bedazzled like prom dresses, accompanied by carefully laminated talking points about shattering glass ceilings, while actual women in STEM roll their eyes and get back to building real rockets. Because yes, someone has to do the math. Launch day arrives, cameras flash, live streams count down, anchors swoon over history unfolding, and the rocket rises. A metaphor in desperate need of subtlety, only to drop back to Earth moments later.
Right? It's so amazing. Like, they went to see space. We're supposed to see them, right? Like, they admired the universe, and what they were expecting was for us to admire the fact that they were rich enough and famous enough to have been granted this utterly, utterly vacuous experience from which they learned absolutely nothing.
4 minutes of weightlessness, 7 minutes of brand activation, and suddenly we're told womankind has reached a new frontier, which is curious because no science was performed, no experiments were logged, and no trail was blazed unless you count the promotional hashtag. But don't worry, Gayle thanks God, translation Oprah, for safe arrival, while Katy kisses the ground like a returning war hero and breathlessly proclaims a divine feminine awakening.
They're treating her like she was in Nam. Where are my babies? My babies. Like she was almost dead. Here's Katy Perry. Kisses the ground. Right. You were in such danger. Gayle King thanking God, and by that I mean Oprah, without whom she'd have no career. She too. Okay, kisses the ground. Somebody already, you should be kissing Oprah. Oprah's there. Kiss Oprah. She's worth far more to you.
Katy Perry, in other words, had certainly set the bar high for herself. She was so insufferably stupid and ditzy before the flight that everybody wondered if she could come up with anything even dumber when she landed.
A statement that makes real astronauts, currently orbiting the planet for half a year without glitter, wonder if they somehow missed the mandatory crystal charging ceremony. Meanwhile, morning shows cue soft piano. Editors splice slow-motion clips of Perry striking zero-G yoga poses, and headlines shriek about barriers breaking, though the only thing truly broken is the record for most eye-rolling per second on social media.
It was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
Yeah. What were her findings? That's my question.
Well,
what
she
did she learn?
Daisy, which is super important. It shows you how quick the flight was. The dead daisy that's like snipped from its life source was still alive or still vibrant.
Yeah, and it's always
Shout out Daisy.
Wow.
Where Wendy's tweets a roast about drive-through astronomy, Emily Ratajkowski wonders why space suddenly smells like perfume samples, and thousands of commenters notice the mission cost more than they will earn in 2 decades yet delivered. Less substance than a microwave burrito, Enter Megyn Kelly, wielding sarcasm like a lightsaber, calling the crew the lowest IQ ever launched, comparing the spectacle to a Vogue shoot in orbit, and asking the forbidden question, did this change civilization or just inflate celebrity egos?
Than the ground. Thank you, Jesus. I mean, truly, it's like they're right back from Nam. What did they do?
That was one small step for womankind, one giant leap backwards for mankind, as far as I can see.
Absolutely insane. I don't know if it's just woman cringe, Hollywood cringe, or elitist billionaire privilege cringe, but it's absolutely insane.
Her monologue slices through the empowerment fog, pointing out that real explorers suffer isolation, risk their lives, and return quietly to design better equipment, not better press kits. She reminds viewers that weeks earlier, 2 NASA astronauts spent 8 months solving genuine malfunctions and landed to polite applause. While Perry floats for 4 minutes and gets a televised canonization, the internet applauds Kelly's bluntness, memes multiply, and Blue Origin's press office issues a statement about inspiring future generations, though those future generations are busy editing montages of the rocket's unfortunate silhouette.
5 women went up into space, right? Jeff Bezos, the man who paid for it all, sent his wife up, which tells you something about their marriage, doesn't it? I think he was hoping she wouldn't come back.
I had to come back. I mean, we're getting married. If I didn't come back, that would be a bummer for me.
Set to 80s sax solos. Still, the branding machine keeps spinning, declaring the mission a spiritual reset, and Perry obliges by describing cosmic vibrations, Earth Mom energy, and how weightlessness realigned her chakras, prompting a physicist to tweet, "That's not how gravity works," which immediately trends. Halfway through this circus, quick reminder, dear viewer, if you enjoy watching Hollywood trip over itself in zero gravity, smash that subscribe button and tell us your favorite overhyped stunt down in the comments so the algorithm knows you're awake. Back to the show, where Oprah's protege Gail insists the flight shouldn't be called just a ride, though critics note amusement parks offer longer thrills for a fraction of the price, and at least the funnel cakes are scientifically tested to taste good.
Katy Perry went up to the space yesterday, and she spent no more than 4 minutes of intense pleasure up there. Came back and talked about how much in love she was with it, how amazing it all was, and she's talking as if she's Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin, landing on the moon, first people planting a flag. She was in space for 4 minutes. She's got longer songs than that.
Who is it? Katy Perry? I didn't even know she was still relevant.
Bezos, ever the salesman, labels the rocket the future of accessible space, which is bold, considering the ticket price could fund an entire university engineering department for a year. But who cares about scholarships when we can watch celebs reenact luxury brand commercials among the stars? Pundits debate whether this is progress or parody, yet the spectacle reveals an uncomfortable truth. Slapping empowerment language on a vanity trip does not advance equality, it just sells merchandise. Imagine instead if the seats had gone to unsung female engineers who actually designed life-saving satellite tech, no designer jumpsuits, no choreographed sound bites, just competence on display. But competence, alas, doesn't trend like sparkles and confessionals about soul massages.
It's so cringy. I'm sorry, but I'm like, why are you... Don't show your boobs. Don't talk about your ass. Don't get your specially made spacesuit so that we can make sure to see all your curves. Is that what it is to be a woman? Just show off as much sex appeal, ass, and boob as you can? I'm not sure. I didn't catch that page in the female handbook.
As backlash grows, Blue Origin releases glossy behind-the-scenes footage showing stylists steaming flight suits beside mission control monitors, further proving Kelly's point that this was more couture than culture. Even late-night hosts, normally gentle with A-listers, join the dogpile, joking that the rocket's shape perfectly symbolizes egos inflating, while Perry's "We put the ass in astronauts" line becomes headline fodder for a week. Through it all, classrooms supposed to be inspired are instead confused. Teachers scrambling to explain that real space science involves years of calculus, not quick trips for content. And still, articles frame the journey as transformative, as if 4 minutes of floating unlocked hidden realms of consciousness, though skeptics recall Perry said the same thing after her last sound bath retreat.
I know some people are going to disagree with me here, but 11 minutes really isn't that long, and you really can't accomplish that much in 11 minutes.
It was flat but quiet. Like these profundities, Walter. Buckle up.
By now, the mission's message has mutated into a meme, 11 minutes to enlightenment, and viewers begin asking where the money went, what data was gathered, and why the media covered this joyride wall-to-wall while ignoring decades of genuine female contributions to spaceflight. Kelly doubles down, declaring the stunt a masterclass in packaging superficiality as substance, accusing Blue Origin of selling empowerment the way fast food chains sell salads, thin veneer, same grease. In response, a Blue Origin spokesperson highlights educational outreach, citing a downloadable coloring sheet of the rocket, which accidentally reinforces the critique. Commentators predict more influencer launches are coming, maybe a TikTok dance challenge in orbit, because once spectacle pays dividends, authenticity struggles to compete.
Has shot a bunch of women tourists who are totally unqualified to be astronauts in a remotely controlled spaceship for 10 minutes into orbit. How insufferable, all the feminists aboard? How much do we not want this rocket to return to Earth?
Still, there is a lingering sadness. The moment could have spotlighted brilliant women who rebuild engines, code guidance systems, and test fuel mixtures until 2 a.m. But instead, it centered selfie sticks and designer helmets. That disconnect, more than any single cringe quote, fuels the backlash because people crave authenticity, and they can tell when they're being sold a sparkly lie. So where does that leave us? Possibly orbiting a cultural black hole where billionaires monetize starlight and influencers treat microgravity like a novelty filter, yet hope remains if audiences keep demanding depth over dazzle. And that brings us to you, dear viewer. Was this mission a bold stride or an overpriced fireworks show? And will you remember it next week or file it under celebrity trivia? Drop your verdict below, share the roast, and stick around because Hollywood's next cosmic stunt is already barreling toward us at escape velocity, and we'll be here, popcorn ready, to peel back the glitter and see if there's anything real. Beneath, though if history is any guide, we'll likely find more hashtags than heroism, more selfies than science, and the unshakable truth that space deserves better stories than this. Stories written not in press releases, but in perseverance, innovation, and dare we dream, a little humility.